What's up, you guys? My name is Emma, aka Lilmixedgurll, and how's you guys doing today? I hope everyone had a great holiday season, a great New Year's, and I know God is just gonna blow this year out of the park. Today's video is literally just get ready with me, but I'm also going to do a story time about how I lost some of my friends, but how it grew me closer to God in the process of losing a lot of my friends, actually all of my friends from high school. So stick around, get yourself a little bit of coffee. So before we get into the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell button so you can get notified every time I upload and post a video. Also, I'll list everything that I'm using plus this in the description box below so you guys can buy it if you want it. And let's get into the video. It was my senior year in high school, and a lot happened my senior year of high school, which kind of makes sense because you are about to transfer from a teenager to an adult. You know, everything starts happening, I feel like, that year for me. I know, like, it could be a stressful year for some, which definitely it was for me, and this was just part of the stress I was going through that senior year. Some of you guys may know from my Chick-fil-A video that that's when I got my first job, and that was interesting. I'll link that up below if you want to watch it. I'm literally trying to find everything that I use. So these friends, I had a group of 12 that I was friends with. Some were associates, some were just friends, and then 2 girls were my best friends. I will call one of their names A and one of their names friend B. I had different tiers of friends, but really we all tried to do parties and gatherings as a group of 13 girls. Basically what happened was friend A was the first best friend I got throughout high school. Then, because of sophomore year, some issues that I went through that were life-altering, I can do a video about that if you guys want me to. But because I didn't open up about what was going on my sophomore year to my friend, which was friend A went and started having another best friend called friend B. Friend B and them became 2 ride or dies. Let's just say it like that. They would do everything, go everywhere together, majority of the time forgetting to invite me or even ask me. Come to find out, they did that because they didn't want me to know what they were doing when they went out. So I was known out of all the 12 girls as the goody 2-shoes. Didn't drink, didn't smoke, I knew it was wrong and I didn't want to. So yeah, that's a little bit of background about the friends, my 2 closest friends. All right, so fast forward now back to the original story. So senior year, it became the week before Christmas break. I was a part of the FAME program at my school, and the first time ever they were going to have a FAME Christmas production. That's where a lot of the drama went down. So before that, leading up to that, friend A and friend B would have a lot of bonfire parties together. Now, what would happen at these bonfires is, I'm gonna be very honest, they would smoke weed and drink and get high, and then they would go and drive after they're high. I want you guys to know I do love them, even though we're not friends anymore. I love every last one of those 12 girls that I met in high school. So please don't take this as a bashing video. When they would come back after that weekend and talk about, oh yeah girl, you should have been there, we did this, we did that, and I'm just sitting there at the lunchroom table listening to their stories like, how are you guys still alive? I'm so thankful that you guys are still here with me, because you do know that could have gone a whole different way. I wouldn't ever speak up because I didn't want them to think I was judging them. So they never knew that I thought it was wrong. Well, then December came and we were about to have our annual slumber party that we would always have every Christmas break, where we would do little Secret Santa exchanges and all that stuff. And so this year they decided that they were going to sauce it up a little bit. And instead of just having a simple sleepover where they might watch one scary movie and then twerk all night and be silly and goofy, they decided they wanted to buy edibles and eat those edibles and drink. So while they were explaining these plans to me at the lunchroom table in high school, I just couldn't fathom the idea of how they could get away with this. And so I already mentally knew in my head, okay, I'm gonna have to pull another Houdini. But this time it felt different because I went to every slumber party, annual Christmas slumber party that they would have. So I felt sad. I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to find a reason to get out of the slumber party that I used to love to go to. I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna freak out if I tell them that I cannot go to their annual Christmas party that I've always gone to. They're gonna wonder why I'm not going, and then I'm gonna have to explain to them that I don't do drugs. And I just knew from the get-go that this was going to be a very interesting conversation. So, you remember that fame party I talked to you guys about, I mentioned about earlier. So that night after that show was gonna go on, they were going to have the party. And literally, it was just like that whole week, I was just filled with like anxiety of like, how am I gonna tell them I cannot and do not want to go to this party without making it seem like I do not want to be their friends? The day of the performance, part of the group of the girls that were all going to that party that night, we had the same lunch period together. And so we were all sitting together and talking, and then the discussion about, oh yeah, who's going to the party? This and this is gonna happen, and I got dead silent, and my face showed that I was not really wanting to be a part of this conversation. Friend B, she looked at me and she was like, Emma, are you coming to the party? Lord, I lost all form of speaking words. I did not know how to form a sentence in that quick second. I said, well, I can't go. I really don't want to go. And so because I said I really didn't want to go, that led them into a tizzy. They just kept on trying to pull it out and pull it out and pull it out of me of why I didn't want to go. And I was like, well, you know, I have to do this tonight. I was trying to find every excuse in the book. They were determined to figure out why I did not want to go, which makes sense. They were all my friends. So me saying this, that I don't want to go and making excuses, freaked them out and made them think, oh, well, do you not like us anymore? Kind of like that. And I completely understand how that could come across as that, and so therefore I do apologize to you guys like that. So we left the lunch table and I literally felt alone. Like, it was awkward. And that was just gonna be the beginning of the awkwardness between me and them. So then we got to chorus class and we're all sitting there, and friend A and friend B were not letting this go. They were like, nope, we gotta get down to the bottom of this. What's going on? Do you not like us anymore? Do you not want to be friends with us anymore? And they started tag teaming and segregating me. And I just felt all the pressure just start to like close in on me, and I just wanted to start crying. But I was like, don't cry in front of all these people in your class. They're gonna think you're weird, they're gonna think you're weak. There was nothing I needed to cry about. There was just something I needed to stand up and be firm and strong about. But of course, I still wasn't giving in about like why I didn't want to go. Then friend B just totally lost his. Friend A went after friend B, and friend A came back to me and was like, she just feels like you don't want to be our friends anymore. She feels like you're very distant and cold with us. So once I realized that that's what she was starting to think in her head, I was like, okay, I just need to tell them what's really going on with me. It's because you guys are doing drugs. That is why. I don't feel comfortable doing drugs. I'm eating edibles. I don't feel comfortable smoking. I don't feel comfortable drinking alcohol. I just don't. And so therefore, I'm going to choose not to go to this party since you guys are going to do that there, and I don't feel like it's okay for me as a child of God to go there. Once I finally said that, it was like the light bulb turned on in her head. Friend B's head. She was like, oh, why didn't you just tell me that in the first place? I would have totally understood if you just told me that in the first place, that that's the reason why you didn't want to go. But literally, I just felt like, oh my gosh, we could have got rid of all of this drama, all of this anticipation and buildup of nothing, if I had just said simply and firmly in what I believe in and was convicted in. And so once I said that, they calmed down, but it still was awkward. That whole night getting ready for the show, it was still a little bit awkward, and I kept on having to check on them, and they kept on having to check on me, like, are we okay? Are we cool? Are we good? So anyway, that night we performed, we did the show, and I was getting ready to go home. Now, backtrack. Earlier that week, I finally told my mom why I didn't want to go to the Christmas sleepover party, because she was even asking me, Emma, why don't you want to go and hang out with your friends? They're your friends. What's up? once I told her that's what they were planning, she stopped questioning me and realized, oh, okay, now I see why you don't want to go. Now fast forward back to the end of the show. We ended. I was going to go drop off my gift at the girl's house that the sleepover was being held at, so I can at least give my gift to the girl that I had as my secret Santa. But I love my mom, and what she did was she realized she had to tell somebody about what these girls were about to do, because what they're about to do is life-threatening. I mean, like, drugs are not supposed to be inside of us, and they could lead to very dangerous actions. So my mom, being the awesome woman of God that she is, went to the girl's mom where the party was going to be held at, and she politely told her mom, do you know that these girls are planning to eat edibles and drink at their slumber party? And my mom didn't come at it with any type of ulterior motive. She didn't want to get them in trouble. She just wanted the parents to know. Well, the person that was going to have the party, she wanted that parent to at least know what her child was about to do. But once she did that, the mom later, like when everybody was walking out of the theater and getting in their cars, I saw her start yelling at my friend A, because that's where the party was going to be at. I literally got sick to my stomach. All I wanted to do was duck, roll, and cover into the car and away from the situation, and pray that she was not yelling at her about the party, but about something else. Maybe she didn't do her chores that day. Yeah, but I knew that my mom told her mom. Yeah, this is my high school brain. I didn't want her to tell on anybody because I didn't want anybody to get in trouble, because I didn't want my best friends and my friends to get in trouble, because nobody wants to get in trouble and nobody wants to get tattletaled on and then get in trouble. But I was also young and I didn't fully realize the weight of this situation. Had nobody told an authority figure that they were doing that, I could have lost all my friends that night. I don't know. By the time that I got home and I checked the group chat, I was taken out of the group chat. So I couldn't contact anybody to see if, one, my best friend was okay, if she was in trouble, if what was gonna happen tonight was really gonna happen tonight. I was cut out of the loop. Not by either of my best friends, A or B, even though A or B was mad at me, but by a friend, just a regular friend that I had, that I thought was my best friend, but really wasn't. And we didn't hang out enough to be like best friends. So she took it upon herself to veto me out of the group. I just cried my eyes out until my head, my face was swollen and red, and it just hurt. Like, my heart felt like it was broken because I lost all of my friends. And I couldn't comprehend the fact that I just lost all of my friends. And so what happened next helped me to grow in my relationship and faith with God, because even though I was totally depressed for a minute, anxious and sad, and felt so lonely and lost, the recovery journey is so much better. Christmas break came, went. Now it's my last semester in high school, and none of them are gonna say hey, none of them are gonna apologize to me, none of them are even gonna mention what happened that night. They just all moved on. And so therefore I had to move on, and it hurt to move on. So what happened? I didn't mix it enough. Okay, oh well. I had to start making my own friends. I had to forgive. Oh, I had to forgive. And through this process of moving on, I started seeing how strong I was. I started realizing things like I've been hiding who I truly am to try to fit into that friend group. Actually, I'm gonna do this trick I learned. You put setting spray on. Not in front of your mirror though. Okay, So yes, I started talking to people I never talked to before, or never used to talk to before, never even realized was there, because I was so focused on my own friend group that I got. And I started realizing, oh wow, I have a lot in common with other people. It was very interesting. It was very cool to realize I could make friends again. I was in dance my senior year. This is even better. So the girl that kicked me out of the group chat, she and I had the same period for dance. Dancing right next to each other, acting like nothing happened, because she definitely acted like nothing happened. Wow. Okay, so I just realized, I forgot something. So the girl that I had as Secret Santa to give a gift to, she was also the same girl that kicked me out of the group chat. So I never gave her gift, and I felt like she shouldn't have gotten her gift because she was so rude to me. And she first started sending people to text me or come up to me and be like, you should give her her gift. And I was like, what in the world? I'm not giving her her gift. She doesn't deserve one. Duh. Now, the girl that had me as Secret Santa, she was sweet and she gave me her gift. But because my Secret Santa gave me my gift, they started throwing that in my face saying, you got your gift, but she didn't get her gift. And she actually went to the party. I bet so, because she's the one that kicked me out. I can't give her her gift if she kicks me out the group and I can't go to the party. And then finally she started coming up to me and she was like, I want my gift. And see, Emma wasn't bold back then. So I was just like, oh, okay, well that's nice. And I left it like that. I didn't really come at her and tell her, well, I deserve an apology. That wasn't me. I was not the confrontational type of person. Finally, the end of January, I gave her her gift and I was like, you know what? I'm tired of hearing people tell me to give her her gift. I'm gonna take the high road. Here's your gift. And after that, she never talked to me again. What was very interesting though was throughout that semester, people would come up to me from that old friend group and be like, oh, I never said anything bad about you. I miss you. No, I really hate the fact that you're out of our friend group and that somebody did that to you. I'm like, you did? Then why didn't you immediately put me back in the friend group or tell the girl that did it to not have done that? Because what happened was I was becoming more confident in who I was and who I am. I was becoming more independent. So therefore, I was like, okay, thanks, but I still feel like I'm just listening to somebody say something and not actually mean it. All that being said was, I didn't come crawling back to them. And honestly, I am very glad I didn't, because if I had did, I think I would have been stuck being this false person that I really wasn't. As our last semester came to an end, there would be times when I would feel lonely and like I had nobody. And then I would also feel this peace though, that I'm like, I'm a better person now. I'm stronger in who I am individually and saying no to things that I knew was wrong. And so as the year closed up, only one of the other girls in that friend group and me became close and still talk to this day sometimes. And she genuinely was just so sweet. She was the only person that night when they took me out the group chat, texted me, was like, Emma, are you okay? Because she realized that there was drama in the group chat and then she saw that they took me out. How the year ended, I was not expecting to end the year off great because, you know, I lost all my friends. I thought I was gonna end the year powerless. Well, God is a great God, and He just totally transformed me and made me realize I do not have to find my identity in man, but I need to find who I am in God. And once I know who I am in God, stand firm and strong in that conviction and do not be wavered. And I'm so thankful for the mom that I had that stood up against what her daughter wanted to do. Since I had that godly backing between God, my mom, I didn't feel alone. By the end of that year, I graduated with my whole family looking at me and being like, she is a strong, confident woman. And that is what my aunt said about me to my mom. To even get to that point, I had to let go of all that was familiar, and kind of what Abraham did. He had to follow God and let go of his family, what was familiar, what he was used to, all the gods and idols and practices and traditions of religion that he used to be under and taught. He had to leave that to go and follow God and to birth the nation, Israel, which was God's chosen nation. In that moment, I had to step out. I just knew, I was like, I cannot not say anything anymore and just be like, act like I'm okay with something that's not okay. I didn't want to one day look on the news, see on social media that my friends were not alive with me anymore because of something I could have told them. I don't know. It's like you can't control people. They have ultimate decision over their lives, but you do also have a responsibility to tell them the gospel, to tell them the good news, to tell them what God might be telling you to tell to them. You can't be afraid to be the odd one out. You can't be afraid to take yourself off the broad path that leads to destruction and go on the narrow path that leads to eternal life, like it says in Matthew. Yeah, Matthew 7:13 through 14. Enter by the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and there are many who go in by it, because narrow is the gate and difficult is the way which leads to life, and there are few who find it. So you can't be afraid to leave the broad path that maybe you, your family, your friends are all on, the world is all on. You have to recognize, if you're a child of God, if you're calling yourself a child of God, you need to get off the broad path and go on the narrow path that God is calling you to take. And so in that moment, that was like one of my first lessons on my journey towards being more like Christ on this earth that I had to learn. After this lesson, I fumbled again. If you guys watch my soul tie video of dating a Satanist and being free or delivered from that was the next year after the senior year. So it wasn't like, oh, I did this and I was perfect. No, I still had more to learn and grow from. So like I said, it is a journey that you are always learning on. And I'm thankful that I obeyed. I'm thankful for God to have brought me from that place of that night, just totally feeling lost and alone and left behind from my friends, to later on feeling confident and strong that she doesn't want to be following the world, especially when it's going in the wrong direction, that she wants to follow God. God has always kept me. And now, just last year, he was finally answering my prayer of, God, give me friends that love you, that want to stay on the narrow path, that loves you in spirit and truth and worships you in spirit and truth and does not want the world but wants you, God. I want friends like that, God. Once I got delivered, that's what I realized, the type of friends that I needed. And now he is just answering my prayers. He's given me a friend group that loves God, loves to worship God, loves to talk about God, loves to study their Bible. And I'm like, thank you. This is what I always wanted. Even though I lost that friend group, he is repairing and restoring 100 times more what I lost. Now with these new group of friends, I'm not worried about, oh, do I look perfect enough? Ooh, are they gonna like me for this? Do I have to change my outfit, my hair, my makeup, how I talk so that they can perceive me the way that I want them to perceive me? Now it's like, I have friends that I can be raw and real and personal with. And I'm just so thankful to God. I didn't like the lesson I had to learn in the moment, but I'm thankful for the lesson in the end. So, I love you guys so much. That is the end of the video. I hope that you guys took a lot out of this video. I'm sorry if it was kind of rambly at moments because I had to remember where I was in the story and also make sure my makeup looked decent for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys made it to the very end, you guys are the best. I will be coming back at you guys next week with another video, so stay tuned. And God bless you. God loves you. I love you. Bye.